happened when Aaliyah don't want to screen Caitlin right here? Look at this. Caitlin lands on her knee with Odyssey Sims trailing and grabbing her. Now Caitlin's on the floor grabbing her knee. Thank you, Aaliyah. Thank you so much, Aaliyah. Look at this. AB didn't screen. So now Odyssey Sims is on time. This is what Draymond Green was trying to tell you, Waffle House. This is exactly what...
Down goes Caitlin Clark, clutching her knee for the second time, while the commentators calmly explain that her opponent simply lost her footing. Lost her footing. Watch that replay again. Nobody with working eyes buys that excuse. This wasn't a slip. This wasn't bad luck. A defender came in hot full speed straight at Clark's legs, wrapped her up, and tried to chop.
They came after Caitlin tonight. She gets flat mugged right here. Flat mugged. Hey, what are we doing? I mean, yikes. She couldn't get a foul call if her life depended on it. Not tonight, anyway. Not tonight. And then Odyssey Sims, I mean, for real, tackles Caitlin Clark. There's no confusion. She tackled her like it's the National Football League. And look, I like Odyssey Sims. She came through last year for the Fever. But that is...
Fever versus Wings. That was the matchup on paper. But by the final buzzer, the real story had nothing to do with the box score. Caitlin Clark got pushed, yanked, held, and dropped to the hardwood so many times.
And Becky. And some intensity growing here as Clark.
Then second quarter, winding down. Paige Buers grabs Clark's arm and just holds on. Doesn't let go. Almost like she's daring the refs to blow the whistle. Two separate plays, same ending both times. The whistle stays silent way too long. And by the time it finally shows up, the damage is already done.
Trash. She does not set screens. You got people tackling Caitlin Clark. Leah Boston, big, soft, sorry ass, don't do nothing. She's a big, soft, sorry piece of if you ask me out there. Leah Boston is ass. $6 million of ass juice out there. She ain't did nothing. Got dominated by Jessica Shepard. Aaliyah Boston, get your sorry ass in the trash too. Go on. Get your sorry ass in the trash. You suck. You the most overrated, overpaid big. For $6 million, you need to be playing like...
Let's break down the knee first, because honestly, this one deserves way more heat than it's getting. Clark's off the ball, working to find a passing lane. Nothing crazy. Then a Wings defender closes in way too fast, way too close to a standing player's legs. The hit lands low right on the knee, and Clark crumples instantly. Both hands wrapped around it. Face scrunched up in real pain. That's not a sell job. That's not acting. You don't grab your knee like that unless it actually hurts. And here's the kicker. The defender stumbles back afterward, throws her arms up like she's the victim, like she got caught off guard. 2. Watch it a second time, a third time. That little performance only makes the whole 2.
To not screen. Look at this. Like, look at it. What type? You're screening Caitlin! Oh my gosh! She's screening Caitlin instead of Odyssey. Oh my gosh! How do you screen Caitlin? Oh my gosh! She's screening her own teammate instead of screening Odyssey Sims. How do you screen Caitlin? It got to the point where she's hurting Caitlin. She's the reason Caitlin probably fell. Let me watch this. Look at this. AB didn't screen. Odyssey Sims just literally fell into Caitlin Clark. How do you screen?
Calling that losing her balance doesn't hold up once you actually watch the footwork before contact. The defender isn't reacting. She's closing the gap on purpose. She squares her hips, drops low, and drives straight into Clark's planted leg. Almost like a defensive back chopping down a running back before he can plant and cut. That's not an accident. That's not a player who simply couldn't stop in time. That's a body angle built to get under Clark and take her down. And when the broadcast calls it losing her balance in real time, that tells you something. How fast people rush to explain away contact on this one player instead of just saying what it is. If you want to contest a passing lane, there are plenty of ways to do it that don't involve going anywhere near someone's knee. This wasn't one of them.
when you're guarding Caitlin Clark. First, Paige grabs her arm, the whistle comes late, Clark gets pissed, and Paige basically tells her, calm down. Then later, Odyssey Sims takes Clark down and she lands knee first on the floor. Nah man, Dallas was physical all night. Indiana loses 91-85 and Clark walks out frustrated. Call it tough defense if you want, but if this is normal, what the hell actually counts?
She's down again. Caitlin Clark is flat on the floor, both hands wrapped around her knee. And the broadcast crew just told millions of people watching from home that the defender lost her balance. Lost her balance. Rewind that footage and watch it slow. Nobody with working eyes buys that story. That wasn't a stumble. That wasn't an accident. That was a defender charging straight into Clark's lower body at full speed, wrapping her up and trying to take her legs out from under her. And the referee, standing close enough to see every second of it, decided the safest move was to do nothing at all. This was Indiana against Dallas. And by the final buzzer, Clark had been shoved, grabbed, held, and dropped to the floor so many times that nobody bothered keeping an honest count. But 2 moments from that night are the ones everyone's replaying this morning. First, the knee. Clark is working without the ball, trying to find a passing lane when a Wings defender closes in on her at a speed that has no business being that close to a standing player's legs. The contact lands low right on the knee and Clark crumples instantly. Both hands on the joint face twisted in real pain. That's not a dramatic sell job. You don't grab your own knee like that unless something genuinely hurts. Meanwhile, the defender stumbles a step afterward and throws her arms out like she's the one caught off guard. A small detail that only makes the whole play look more deliberate the more you watch it back. Here's the problem with calling that a balance issue. Watch the footwork before contact happens. The defender isn't reacting to Clark's movement. She's closing the distance on purpose. She squares up, drops her hip angle, and drives directly into Clark's planted leg. Almost exactly like a defensive back chopping down a running back before he can plant and cut. That's not incidental contact. That's not a player failing to stop in time. That's a body position built specifically to get underneath Clark and take her down. And the fact that the broadcast called it losing her balance in real time says a lot about how quickly people rush to explain away contact on this particular player, instead of just calling it what it obviously was. If a defender simply wants to contest a passing lane, there are a dozen ways to do that without ever getting near someone's knee. This wasn't one of them. And here's the part that should really make people angry. Not just the play, but everything that happened after it. No whistle. Not a late whistle. Not a delayed one. Just silence. Clark is on the hardwood holding her knee. The trainer eventually jogs out to check on her, and the 3 officials standing within 10 feet of the whole thing act like they were watching a completely different possession. This is a 2-time MVP. The single biggest reason a huge chunk of that arena bought tickets in the first place, lying in visible pain. And the response from the people paid to officiate that exact moment is nothing. No free throws, no flagrant review, not even a common foul acknowledging that contact happened. The game just restarts like nothing occurred. And the only proof anyone gets that something actually went wrong is watching Clark limp through the next several possessions. Now compare that silence to how fast the whistle comes out when Clark is the one making contact. Earlier in this very series between these two teams, Clark barely brushed a defender while setting a screen and got an offensive foul called almost instantly. No hesitation, no letting the play develop to see if it even mattered. That's the disconnect fans keep bringing up game after game. When Clark makes even the lightest contact, it's a foul before she's finished the motion. When something far more physical happens to her, suddenly the whistle needs an extended review, or it never comes at all. Same 3 officials, same 40 minutes of basketball, somehow enforcing 2 completely different rulebooks depending on which jersey is doing the shoving. Clark herself even picked up a technical foul earlier this season for accidentally running into an official. Completely unintentional, easily confirmed on replay. Her reaction to getting that whistle was exactly what you'd expect from anyone in that spot. Pure disbelief. The league nearly ejected her for it before quietly reversing the call. And this wasn't an isolated case either. A few weeks before that, Clark picked up another technical for making contact with an official while simply following through on a play. a body in motion with nowhere else to go. Meanwhile, other players around the league have made similar or rougher contact with officials during live action. And walked away with nothing more than a shrug. Fans noticed instantly, and it fed right into the argument that's been building all season. The standard for fouls against Clark and fouls on her seem to come from two entirely different rule books. And nobody in the league office has ever given a real explanation for why that gap keeps showing up night after night. Now to the second moment, the one everyone will be talking about tomorrow. Less than 10 seconds left in the first half. Clark has the ball. The Wings have a foul to give, and Paige Buehr steps in to use it. Except using a foul to give isn't supposed to mean grabbing someone's entire arm and refusing to let go while the clock winds down. Buehr wraps up Clark's left arm and holds on. Clark visibly tries to shake free, clearly frustrated at being restrained instead of simply fouled and released. The referee lets several full seconds play out before finally blowing the whistle. And by then, Clark has already fired the ball down the court out of pure frustration, sending it sailing uncomfortably close to Buehr's on her way to the tunnel. Watch the mechanics of that hold, not just the outcome. A foul to give is supposed to be quick. A bump, a wrap, a whistle done. This wasn't quick. Buehr's held on well past the point where any official should need more information to make the call. She wasn't trying to stop a shot or a pass. The clock had basically already run out. She was simply preventing Clark from doing anything with her body while everyone waited for a whistle that was in no hurry to arrive. And in the middle of that hold, cameras caught Buehr's mouthing something toward Clark that's been widely read online as some version of calm down. Right in the moment Clark was the one being held against her will. Slow it down frame by frame. And it isn't subtle. Her lips move. Her expression stays calm, almost dismissive while Clark is still actively trying to pull free. Sit with how strange that actually is. Buehr is the one holding on. Buehr is the one extending the contact well past what the situation calls for. And yet somehow the message in that moment gets directed at Clark, the player being restrained, as if she's the one who needs to settle down and behave. That's the same loop that's followed her all season. She gets hit, held, or fouled hard. She reacts even mildly, and somehow the story becomes about her reaction instead of whatever caused it. It happened with the official contact earlier this season. It happened with the knee collision just minutes into this same broadcast. And now it's happening again with a grabbed arm at the end of the first half. The referees clearly knew they had a problem because the delay on that call wasn't small. A foul to give is designed to be assessed almost instantly, so both benches know exactly where they stand. Instead, this one dragged out long enough that Clark had already reacted. The ball had already been thrown and both teams were already walking toward their locker rooms by the time the whistle finally confirmed what everyone in the building had already figured out for themselves. That's not good officiating. That's a crew that lost track of the game. By the third quarter, Buehr herself picked up a technical foul for arguing a separate call involving Clark. A proof that the officiating crew had completely lost control of the pace and physicality of that game. And Clark absorbed the worst of it long before anyone in stripes decided to step in. Head coach Stephanie White has been here before, defending her star point guard after nights exactly like this one. And you can feel the exhaustion in how often these situations repeat. It's not that physical basketball is the problem. The WNBA is a tough, physical league, and nobody expects a whistle every single time someone bumps into Clark. The real issue is the inconsistency. A knee-level collision goes completely uncalled in real time, while a light offensive fall on a routine screen gets whistled instantly 2 possessions later. Fans aren't asking for special treatment. They're asking for the same standard applied in both directions. And right now, it clearly isn't. There's a bigger picture here that the league keeps brushing past. Clark is, by a huge margin, the single biggest reason attendance and ratings have exploded across the league this season. Economists have tied hundreds of millions of dollars in impact to her presence alone. Ticket sales, merchandise, television deals, entire arenas selling out night after night. And every time she goes down clutching a knee with no whistle, or gets held by both arms with no immediate call, that's a real risk to the health of the very player driving all of that growth. If the league genuinely wants to protect its biggest asset, the officiating around her needs to stop lagging several steps behind what every fan at home can already see on the very first replay. Zoom out, and look at the whole night. A missed call on a Neela collision that any casual fan could spot as dangerous within seconds. An armhole that the whistle needed several extra seconds to catch up to well after the damage to Clark's composure was already done, and a technical fall on that same opposing player just 1 quarter later. Proof that the frustration boiling over on the floor wasn't imagined. It was earned. She gets hit harder than almost anyone else in the league. The whistle shows up late or not at all. And then somehow the story becomes about her reaction instead.